During a visit to Florida, Enigin Sales Director Ben Wilcox was taken by his host, Daytona Beach-based Enigin partner Rob Grooms, to South Daytona City Hall, where Rob's technical team had just installed an Eniscope. While there, Ben talked to city employee Greg Bartholomew.
Well, I am the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of South Daytona, and about a year ago our city manager had asked for us to put together a green committee to look at some alternative solutions to energy conservation, and I was dubbed the chairperson of that committee. So I wear two hats now. I am the green chair and I am also the Parks and Recreation Director.
Okay, all right, thanks for that. So what will be useful to know with that in mind is how you feel that the introduction of Eniscope, for example, will be able to help you to that cause.
Well, what it's going to do for us is it's going to allow us to expand on our green conservation initiatives. And one of the things that we thought was important was to be able to identify some conservation efforts and some measures in which we could either reduce energy and save money. And we thought it would be a good idea to put this in place so that we could monitor the current energy usage, so we could identify areas where we could provide some energy savings and some cost savings to the city.
Okay, and so far have you been able to identify anything? Is there anything already that's sort of been useful?
Through our green initiatives and through our own awareness efforts, we've started to take a look at our buildings and look at some of the ways we operate and some of the electronic devices that we're using, and we are trying to identify some areas where there are some more energy efficient appliances that we could use, or energy efficient lights, or some new techniques that we could use and teach to our staff that we could change some behavior.
Yeah, okay. And your experience so far with Ekon, what's your thoughts of the experience you've had so far?
No, so far what we liked was we had talked to some other ESCOs. How this originally got started actually with Ekon Group is they had contacted us, but prior to them contacting us, we did get contacted by another ESCO,
yeah.
And they wanted to come in and they put a proposal together to come into the city and told us that they would do an energy audit and do all these things. And the problem was it seemed like a risk to the city. It wasn't something that we thought was in our best interest, because there seemed to be, we had to commit to something early on that we weren't sure what we were committing to. And what was nice when Ekon came in is that they proposed something very similar. However, it was more of a phased basis, so that we could come in and we could do the Eniscope and see where we were. Then we could identify the areas that we could go back and find the savings. It wasn't an all or nothing proposition right up front. What I told Rob is I'm one of the most skeptical people in the world, so when it comes to people promising me the moon, I'm pretty skeptical about whether or not I think it's going to work. We are going to be able to identify areas in which we can make some energy savings and identify employee behaviors, identify appliances that need to be changed, and see where our inefficiencies are and what time of days they are, when they're occurring. And so yes, we feel like we have some great hope with what we're doing.
The information that we can get from the real-time display in Eniscope, do you think there's some merit in being able to show that to the public? In other words, the efforts that you're making to
absolutely. I think anytime you can educate the public on what you're doing and you can show them that you're doing something that's in their best interest, it's a definite benefit.